Jill Smith and Graham Farnell have developed a commercial almond orchard on the outskirts of Blenheim. The couple has devoted over 30 years to their almond business, with Graham taking advantage of an engineering background to create his own processing solutions.
We bought the place a long time ago, back in about 1980. Had a look at the land and thought, well, it's quite light land. We've got to find a crop that will suit it. And we'd seen almonds grow out the hour tree where it's very, very dry, similar circumstances, and they grew well there. So, and my father's got a horticultural background, so we did a bit of research and thought, well, maybe we'll give it a go and we'll try them on this property. As the first lot came on stream, there was a big gap until we realised, yes, well, okay, they are going to work. Then we carried on. We've got 4 paddocks and almonds. We've got a little bit left. Got to have a spot for the airstrip, a little bit for the extra for the sheep. And it's as big as we want to go now. Just under 2,000 trees is enough as we want to handle. The base of our trees now is a tree that we found that grew really well in Blenheim. We've grown them from seed and we propagate. We grow them into a small tree, we propagate them. So we don't buy the trees either. The very good thing is that New Zealand almonds will sell themselves. Not many people are aware even now that we can grow almonds in New Zealand because it is a difficult crop to grow. And so therefore, when the news gets out there that we do grow ones, we can sell everything. We can more than sell what we produce. The farmers' market's really valuable to us. Mainly, well, two aspects. We deal directly with the people, so there's no middleman with their big cut on our hard-earned money or our hard-earned crop. And the interaction with the people is a huge thing. You have the challenge of questions and answers, and you verify your product out there.
It's a pretty challenging crop to grow. One of the major problems early on in the season, of course, is frost. Over the years, we've used various types of frost fighting gear. It was either wind machines, helicopters, or both are pretty expensive, so I decided that I'd think a bit outside the square and develop ground-based helicopters that we move around in the orchard during the night, find the coldest patches, work on the coldest patches, and proves to be very, very effective. It's a crop that takes a long time to mature, so, for instance, we flower well before cherries and they pick 3 months before us. So to give you some idea of how long our season is, the management throughout the growing season is quite considerable. It's not like a quick cash crop like a pip fruit crop or a stone fruit even are much quicker, because we've got to take them right through to the dry stage on the tree. So we take the whole growing process basically done on the tree, and when they're dry and completely mature on the tree is when we start to harvest and do our downstream work. When you start out, you can do it sort of like a cottage industry where you do most of the work manually. But if you ramp the business up to a certain degree, then you have to mechanise most of it, because it's a high volume item product, so there's a lot of handwork involved if you do it traditionally. So bit by bit over the years, as the productions come up, we've developed the machinery, and because it's not an industry that's operating in New Zealand, you either have to go overseas and buy your equipment, or you do what I do, build it, because I have the skills. I'm an engineer by trade. In the field, we harvest with a machine that I developed, which basically grabs the tree and shakes it into an inverted umbrella with conveyors in there. Goes up into bulk bags on the back of the machine. Then we take them off and empty them onto the portable racking system that we use to dry the product in the sun. We sun dry, very important part of the process. To get a cure, they'll last for years if you've got them properly cured. And then we bring them inside into the factory here, and we can store them basically as long as we like once they're in that condition. That allows us to basically not have to touch the product up to that point, and convey it and mechanise the process up to that point. We have to be as gentle as possible, because it's a field product that's come in ungraded and uncleaned or whatever. We put it through the cracker, and in the initial stages of going through the cracker, the jaws are set wide, so all it does is take the hull off the almond and exposes the shell, so that the next time it comes through the process, it just goes round in a loop. The next time it comes through the process, it'll actually crack the almond out, and then you just gradually reduce the size of the aperture for the almonds to go through, and they'll eventually crack out at whatever size they are. So we've eliminated all that upstream grading process that potentially is another whole line of your operation. One of the things that's come along market-wise in the last couple of years that surprised us a little bit and caught us off guard is there's quite a demand for green almonds in the shell at various stages of the season. The interest is from top-end chefs at the lodges and restaurants. They're over the moon to find that they can source green almonds in shell at the stage they like them. We weren't prepared for this, and so we never thought of encouraging that demand, but it comes to us, it finds us. They start out wanting this part being the kernel at a jelly stage, and then they follow them through the maturing process to this stage here where the kernel has started to solidify, but it's still quite friable, and the shell on the almond is just starting to set. And they do various things with them. They slice the whole thing that you see there and saute it, and they pickle them whole. They pickle kernels, they pickle hulls. At the beginning when we had inquiries, we thought, no, we don't want to do that because we're geared up for machinery and this is all handwork again. And so we basically said to the guys, we explained to them that, you know, it's an expensive process for us that we're not geared up for, and they said, well, what are we going to pay? You know, they want the product, and they pay us well. You know, so it's a good situation that we're supplying something that they really want at a price that is good for us, and they seem very pleased with the product.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.